Okay, so is my voice being picked up by? Yeah, it is, I think. I can hear it. Good, okay.
But not in the room, so you got to project to the room. There's no PA, so you got to.
I know. Just got to talk loud, which is why I'm drinking water, so I don't lose my voice. Aha, but I'm not doing this yet.
I know. I don't know how to
Okay.
back
No,
up.
you can leave it. Yes, so we're ready. Agendas. Okay, pass the agendas. Yeah.
Everybody here's copies of the agenda tonight. Take one and pass it around. It'd be great.
I'm trying to get used to the mic being over my head, but I will. Welcome, everybody. Really good to see many of you that I know and meet some new faces. I'm Paul Earle, president of BevCam. I've been on the board for 21 years now, and boy, what do you think of this space? Yeah, it's come a long way. With the help of Comcast, of course, to a degree, but they're helping less. We'll get to that later. And but here we are. We figure now is the time to stay in a high school for a lot of reasons, but also get out so people can know who BevCam is going forward. And I think we're all very excited about it. Those of you that are producers or thinking about being producers or whatever, I hope you're excited about it, given all this wonderful equipment that's everywhere, that's right downtown. So again, welcome. And you have agendas now. I'd like to call up John Agari, who will run the election piece of the program in terms of the logistics of it. John?
Thank you, Paul. Hello, everyone, members. Part of the agenda for the annual meeting each year is to consider the election of member-elected candidates to the Board of Directors. Now, the Board of Directors for BevCam is a mix of member-elected and board-elected directors, if you will. And we're looking to sort of cast the net. Most of you, all of you, should have received in early August a notice that BevCam sent out over my name. Thank you, Liz. Basically asking about whether you would be interested in joining the board. I think it's the first time we've, in my tenure with BevCam, which is, I think, 12 years on the board, 11 years, I don't know, Walt, you would know that. So we got a healthy response. I say healthy because that's by definition of the people who do these sorts of things. And it was like 20 or 21, I think, altogether. And then I sent out another follow-up, like a week or so later, just asking folks who did respond, first of all, thank you for responding. And secondly, if you haven't already sent a brief bio of your background, what you do, and why are you interested in joining the board, please do that. So we got, not everyone did that, but few people did. So we looked at what we had, and Paul and I, we shared the information with all of the current board members, asking for, comments and recommendations, et cetera. Do you know these folks, et cetera. And through a process, Paul and I kind of reviewed the bios on the people that did respond, and we narrowed it down to 6 who we thought, knowing the current board population and our skills and our backgrounds, would really be helpful in supporting BevCam as it moves into sort of this next phase of its development, which is significant. This is significant because BevCam now becomes a really resource-rich entity for the community in Beverly. As you know, we've been in the high school for many, many years, since the inception, I think. I'm not sure. I joined when you were in the high school. And so this brings us downtown, which we were interested in doing, just to have a physical presence in the center of the community, which has become so vibrant over the years. So we're very excited about this. So we narrowed it down. So tonight, the purpose of the election tonight is for all of the members to select two. And why two? Because that represents getting us better in balance in terms of how many folks are board elected, how many folks are member elected, as determined by the bylaws of the organization. So we have 5 names on the ballot. I am one of them because I am a board elected, a member elected member of the board, and I decided to throw my hat in the ring again. And there are 4 others on the ballot. So we'll be distributing a ballot. We'll be asking you to select 2 folks. Before we do that, we're going to ask those of us who are on the up for election or re-election to say a few words about who they are, their background, very brief, and why they want to continue with BevCam. I'll start seeing as I'm already up here. And basically, I started with BevCam as a volunteer maybe 12 years ago, Walt. Why? I was interested in film, photography, broadcasting, fascinated with how does it work? A lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So I took courses, etc., and I helped out. Basically, I volunteered, and I was a gopher helping the pros and the expert volunteers doing their shows. And I had a blast. It was really great. A few years after that, Walt had asked me if I considered getting on the board, and I did. And I joined the board. I was board elected. I was board elected, member elected at different times, etc. And what I've really enjoyed about being both working with BevCam and working with the board is, the dynamism of the organization, of the board members, are a great team. There's a lot of different, skill set. My background is public service, like 42 years in government, starting as a social worker, becoming a manager, policy developer, labor relations, you name it. I did a lot of everything, workforce development. But the reason why I want to stay on the board and remain on the board is because at this juncture, this is an incredible point of transition for BevCam and for the community. And that's why I refer to it as being resource rich. What a resource for the community. So I just ask that you consider me when you vote this evening, okay? And I think what I'll do is ask the other candidates to come up. Paul, is that in alphabetical order? First we have Michael Davis. And Mike, if you wouldn't mind coming up and saying a few words.
Just go up there. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Davis. I was, so my first job out of college, which I graduated in 2019 from Curry College, was Bedford TV. And I was a production manager there. And from there, we had an unbelievable low budget. In fact, there was only 2 full-time employees. It was me and my executive director. And a week after I was hired, COVID hit. And we went from being this important to this important. So covering select boards, that was all we needed to, can you guys cover everything? And then we weren't really covering a lot of sports. And it was actually me that said to my executive director and to actually the board of directors that all of these parents, they can't watch their kid play baseball, soccer, football. I don't know if any of you guys are parents or if any of you guys remember that, but it was a very difficult time. So I ended up having an army of people with interns and volunteers, and I was in charge of about like 8 to 10 people and scheduling them to cover games, covering different, Zoom meetings for the community. And with the budget, even us getting a new JVC camera like that was not in the books. So we ended up getting something that's called Sling Studio. and even that was unbelievably difficult. And we had to ask for money and raise money for that. And we ended up having a lot of different classes, and we even did some of them over Zoom, and some of those I ended up teaching. And right now I work for the TV show Fandom Gourmet. I'm a videographer and video editor, and I've won 2 Emmys with them. And with my expertise and my background with community media, I think I'd be a great addition. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Again, next in alphabetical order, I'd like to introduce you to Miriam Pitt. Miriam, if you would.
Sorry, I'm old-fashioned. I want to make it quick. My name is Miriam Pitt, an artist, and with a passion for creativity and the community engagement. I believe my background as an artist, a filmmaker, and a journalist can bring some fresh perspective to the board. I have several ideas for projects that only showcase our local talent, but also engage on a wider audience. And Beverly, I am excited about the potential to collaborate and create meaningful initiatives that highlight our artistic community. I would love the opportunity to contribute to the board and help drive new projects forward.
Thanks, Miriam. Next up, we have Dave Radigan. Dave.
Hi. So I'm a college professor, and I'm an adjunct, and I teach at 3 different schools. The largest that you would have heard of is UMass Lowell. I teach communication. I'm also a professional stand-up comedian for the last 3 decades. I've played, the biggest crowd that I've been in front of was 2,300 at the music tent down at Hiatus, and I hate public speaking. So I started, I had a 3rd career, which is with my first career. I was a journalist. I started as a sports writer when I was in high school at the Beverly Times, which means that I'm old. And I wrapped it up in 2017 when the Boston Globe folded my section. I wrote for the Globe North section for about 16 years. I think some of you probably have heard of the Boston Globe. The younger members, a newspaper is what we used to use to get our news from. Yeah, nobody knows. Okay, fine. Fine. Anyway, so I've had journalism, I've had a teaching career as a communications teacher, and I've been a communicator and entertainer. I've done a couple of different projects at BevCam and at other local origination stations over the years, and some creative ones and some news ones. And the last one was 2020. We had a creative project, and the folks at BevCam helped us out, and it kind of got derailed by the pandemic. So that's my last experience. But I've always thought that it's a fantastic organization and a fantastic resource, and not just BevCam, but also the other local origination stations in the other communities. And I think it's an underutilized resource. So when I got the notice, I have never served on a board before. I thought it sounded kind of interesting. I met with John and Paul, and they mentioned some of the things they've got an interest in, and it sounded interesting to me. So I threw my hat in the ring, and we'll see what happens. And that's it. Thank you very much.
And lastly, Ryan Reed. Ryan, would you come up, please? Say a few words.
I'm usually behind cameras, so this is weird, and thank you for having me follow the professional stand-up comedian. That was a real treat. I'm Ryan Reed. I've lived in Beverly for the last 17 years, and I work telling stories for science, technology, engineering, and manufacturing companies with video. We've been at it for about 15 years now, and basically the conclusion that I've come to, and the reason why I'm here tonight, is that there aren't enough storytellers in the world. There are a lot of really important stories that need to be told. They're not being told effectively, they're not being communicated well, and the world needs more people to tell the right and the best stories effectively. I subscribe to BevCam on YouTube, and I poke in and I watch a lot of the programming. I love seeing the young people that are involved with BevCam. I love seeing that you have a presence still down at the high school. I love all of the community involvement, the educational involvement. Listen to my daughter's soccer game on BevCam while I was driving here. Shh. Definitely just listened. Thank you for that. But basically, the reason why I'm here and the reason why BevCam interests me is your mission is the same as my mission. And that is breeding another generation of storytellers, people who want to tell stories for the community, people who want to tell stories to make the world a little bit, tiny bit better. So I'd like to offer myself as a resource, essentially, to help with the young people that are here, to help with the technology, the nerd stuff that's here. I've run headfirst into just about every video-related and production-related wall that you can possibly run into. That's why my head's so dented. And I guess that's it. So that's why I'm here, and it's great to meet you all.
Thank you, Ryan. It was great. Thank you all for being here and for introducing yourself to the group. At this point, we're actually going to take a vote. I'm sorry? Questions? Yeah, does anyone have, before we do that, does anyone have any questions to any of the candidates? Yes, Walt.
What is the maximum number of board members per the bylaws? 15.
15, yeah.
And how many do we currently have?
10.
10.
And but the mayor's about to appoint somebody, because he has one appointment. That's 11. And the school is vacant at the moment through December. Are we filling it again? She's looking for somebody else. So we'll be at 12. And then 13 after 1 year comes in.
There's certainly qualified candidates. We only vote for 2, right? Yeah,
Well, we're voting for 2 member elected. Remember, the board is comprised of member elected and board elected. So we're looking at the composition of member elected and board, and made the decision that we could use 2 member elected.
Is the board going to elect, or is the board going to do that at one of the next meetings? I mean, are we stuck with the 13? I guess
No. Yeah.
Basically, he's saying, why can't we just take them all?
Well, we can't take them all, it's a good question, but we can't take them all tonight. Tonight, we're voting for 2 member elected. In other words, the membership is going to elect. Then the board, when it meets, will consider the other candidates, basically, to meet its future needs. Yeah, we went through a process. Yeah, it's good. It's a good, fair question.
Vote to go higher than 15, although really huge boards are sometimes not as good. I think 15 might be the max anyway.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. If there are no other questions, what I'd like to do is just pass out the ballots. Pens, if you could help.
Yeah. And if anybody needs a pen, grab some.
Yeah, just pass the pens along too.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I don't know.
This one doesn't say that. Sure. And we have this one. Can we write it Delphine? Anybody else get a pen?
Okay, Judy, thank you. Judy Miller will be tabulating the vote, and we'll announce at the end of this meeting. So in the meantime, we'll continue with the agenda.
Yep.
Just
Thanks,
a
John.
quick housekeeping. I know there are some people, so can I take these chairs to people in the back who don't have chairs? All right, if you need a chair, come up front here. You all set this later?
Okay, hello again, everybody. Thank you to John for such a good job in facilitating the election process. I want to spend a few minutes, and then I'll turn it over to Rob to go into a bit more detail on all these topics, but on basically what BevCam has accomplished since the last time we had an annual meeting, and what our plans are going ahead, and recognize people also. So with that, can I have the second slide, please? It's only 4. Okay. Well, to state the obvious, this is here, $250,000 plus later, but it's a good investment, and now we make it pay off. As you know, it includes a podcast studio, editing stations, tables, and a nice area for training sessions, equipment sign out, and a lot more, and they'll figure out more stuff, the staff will, as they move forward. Great windows. We've been looking for a space for, I don't know, 3 years, I think, but not having the money when we first started looking, or barely having it, but you know, you have to start things early if you know you need to do it. And finally, I think Liz walked by one day to Delphine's, and she went back and told, and the rest took care of itself. We said, oh, we love those windows. We know we're going to have to do a ridiculous build out because we can't just move in, but it's worth it. So here we are, and this will be our main office, along with the high school, which will continue to serve the media classes. We have a nice studio out there. I think most of you have seen it, and it's all going to work really well. Also, another big thing is the staff expanded by one person, and Amanda Hurley joined us. Amanda, you want to stand up? All right. Hi. She's doing a great job in the education and media manager, really, for BevCam. She's extremely good at getting interns. I guess they just can't say no to you or something. I don't know what the deal is, but she's a great addition. It comes from some access experience from another town, and but I think this one's going to be much more exciting as we go forward. So welcome. We formed a new subcommittee recently. We've never really done this before. I'm trying to form small subcommittees to attack certain things that need more in-depth discussion that we can't get done in a board meeting. But on all of those committees that will form, we'll have a combination of staff and board members. Now, whether it's 1 and 2 or 2 and 1 or whatever it is, as a way to also begin to continue to integrate and use one another's talents together to grow BevCam. So we formed the first one. It's looking into basically membership ideas and the mission, and we don't want to do any new initiatives that they don't fit the mission of BevCam. So you got to put first things first, and then we'll do more as we go forward. New initiatives, planning. Well, there's too many opportunities to do it once, so you got to prioritize them and then figure out which are the ones that, frankly, you can monetize sooner than the others, since we know our cash cow and funder, the bank we have, or known as Comcast, is not funding us as much anymore. We'll get to that. So there's a lot of challenges, there's a lot of risks. The biggest challenge, in a way, is behavior change. I mean, I've been in startups all my life, and breaking out of the mold of traditional public access businesses and doing what we need to do going forward to offset the declining Comcast contributions, which is obvious now, is a real challenge, and it's tough. But we've now positioned ourselves with a new space and an excellent layout position to meet those challenges and reduce that risk. You can see the risk at the bottom. Number one, our reserves are very healthy. Between reserves and receivables, we've got about $680,000 in the bank as of the 20th. We don't need to have that much money in the bank, we all know that, but I'm glad we have it. The Comcast payments for the 2011 through 2021, which was the last contract with Comcast before we renewed, the average quarterly was $102,000 a month, a quarter, sorry, compared to $184,000 a quarter on the 2021 fourth quarter through 2024 first quarter period. That's kind of the good news. Healthy reserves and a nice check coming in, even though it's getting a little smaller. And that shows how it's getting a little smaller at the bottom. 2022 first quarter was 190,000 plus. 2024 second quarter is 173,000. Now, if you take that many quarters and drop it 17,000 each one, you can do it after the meeting if you want. It's a little depressing. And it also shows that you really need to, and it could drop that much. It could drop by more. I don't think it'll drop by less. So it kind of shows the need for the new things. Rob, you can go next one.
Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
you can stop paying producers.
Well, yeah. Didn't we do that? Good one. Okay, so what's in store for 2025 and positioning ourselves for beyond? It's very simple. You know what PEG is, public education, government, right? Okay, education and government are in excellent shape. And they can get better and maybe expand a little bit more as indicated at the bottom, but we really don't have to worry about that so much. It's like any company that's got a solid product that's very profitable and well received, yet they know other things are coming along, like other ways to deliver content and all that kind of stuff. So you got to keep the core product healthy, but you don't necessarily have to invest much in it. What we need to do is we need to make the P in PEG come alive, which is why we're here. We decided we couldn't make it come alive if we were just at the high school. Nobody sees us, nobody knows enough about us. It's easy to come and go in and out this door. The high school is not so easy, for all the right reasons, but still, you just can't, you can't do it there. So we need to make it come alive, and some examples is local news reporting and person on the street interview kind of stuff regarding key issues. Podcasts, which we're set to go, and it's going to start any day now. Skills development training classes and on-site curriculum and online content covering different aspects of media production, video, etc. We need to expand our services to the community. Some will generate revenue, some won't. I think these two both should. And profitable revenue, not just revenue. Production services, there's a lot of small businesses that, and now they can walk in here, they can do a little corporate film clip. We can edit it for them for a fee and walk away, and to me that seems like low-hanging fruit, could be wrong. And sponsorships, which we've honestly tried for a long time. I think one of the problems we have is we're not valuing ourselves enough. I think if we go up in price on sponsorships and have a really solid value proposition for whoever it is, we can do it. So we're going to be fooling around with alternative approaches there and invest a little money here, a little money there, see what sticks. Hopefully we'll be smart enough to figure out what we never should have put a little bit of money in and you stop it and just keep moving. Develop some proprietary curriculum offerings, and possibly some of these can be grant supported. The nice thing about proprietary or unique content, I guess you could also say, something like that, is that, and unique content is not just the content, but it's how it's chunked up, how it's delivered, how it's presented, and a lot of you folks have those talents. And what we could do there is still offer it for free or pennies to the residents of Beverly. But we could have streaming services going everywhere outside of Beverly and monetize those. And it's not going to happen in a year, but you probably could get a beta going in a year on some of it. So, and then the education and government we talked about. So there's just so many things, and they're all pretty darn exciting. And we also have to be smart enough to pick the ones that we want to try first, kind of thing. Well, last but not least, without contributors, I wouldn't be standing here, we wouldn't be doing any of this. Rob's put together a really good staff. I mean, when he took over, the whole staff turned over, got good jobs. It wasn't about Rob, it wasn't about anything. They just wanted something new, something fresh. And he brought in Chris, who had been here before, Liz, who's the engagement person, and she's always going around BevCam, Beverly, talking about BevCam. Michelle, who's really, really good with managing the programming and the content and all that, and Amanda, who I mentioned before. So could all of you just stand up to make sure people know who you are? Okay, thank you guys and gals. The board of directors, we meet regularly every other month. We have a fair number of special meetings. We deal with issues as they come up, plans for the future, and we're beginning to plan more jointly with the staff on different things. So I want to thank the board members who are here and those that aren't here for putting up with me and coming to meetings and helping BevCam get into this space by ideas you have and help you fit. So could you all stand up, please, whoever's here, board members.
You in the back.
Okay. Yeah. And an interesting fact, one member of the staff and 2 board members attended Beverly High School. They were involved with BevCam in the media classes, and now they're back here helping us move forward. That would be Chris Harvey. You can't miss him. He's pretty tall. And and then a classmate, I believe, of yours, Matt Gelano, and the 2 of them went to Endicott together, I think. Yeah, okay. And the other one is Alex Saluco, who a little bit behind you guys, I guess, I think.
I'd say a little bit more than a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. He's pretty young. Yeah. And both Matt and Alex. Matt's on the West Coast. He's in charge of corporate video production and et cetera for Vertex Pharmaceutical Company, and he's in Seattle doing a shoot, managing a shoot, I should say. And Alex is in the media business also, and he's traveling, so they couldn't be here. Producers, special shout out to the most active, and some of the most active have been active for years and years and years, and it's good to see. George Binns, Elliot Margolis, Bob Butterworth, and Walt Kosmowski, the previous executive director, which I don't have to say because everybody knows Walt, and Jorgelina Zioli, pardon me if I didn't do it right, Dominic Copeland, Gene LaRocco, Paul Norman, the Rotary Club, the mayor, Dominic Lorenzano, and the Second Congregational Church that I think has been on the air 32 times or something like that in the past year. And it's good content. I mean, it's, you know, if you hear a lot of sermons and all that kind of stuff in the archives and all that, to have content like that up, I think is very useful. And then the community, various leaders and groups who support and express thanks to BevCam does. The mayor's office is a big help. Beverly Main Streets, we're starting to do more with them. The students and athletes at Beverly schools, I don't have to say more. Chris, your stuff is fantastic, and Michelle, both of you, as far as all the sports stuff you get out, it's unbelievable. And that's my most watched part of BevCam. And then government comes in second, and public comes in third, because I want it to come in first, but right now it can't. So enough said. Again, thank you for coming, and I'll turn this over to Rob to fill in the blanks. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I think I've met all of you. If you don't know, I am Rob Chapman. I am the Executive Director of BevCam. I want to say a couple things before I get into my slides. First of all, I'm very pleased with how this place looks today. I spent most of my day cleaning it up and getting it ready for the annual meeting. And I look at it tonight and I'm like, wow, it's really kind of sparkles. It looks really great. So thank you all for coming in. And I also want to thank Paul for all the work that I get to work with Paul. He often, as he said, bugs me and calls me out and says we need to have a meeting. Recently we've been trying to meet weekly. It was very fun for a while. I was trying to get him in my office, but he kept saying, no, we have to meet down at the Anchor. So we've been meeting down at the Anchor, which is always fun. So thank you, Paul, for all the work that you've done and your guidance and your leadership. So, yeah. Now, one of those things is that I wrote my notes last week and I haven't looked at them since, so I'm going to have to be surprised as you are when they come up. All right, current status. We spent a lot of time this last year kind of raising brand awareness, letting people know that who we are, a lot through the efforts of our community engagement manager, Liz, who has been teaching me all about social media and algorithms and all those terms that I never quite understand in Google Analytics. So it's been really great to have her. She's just somebody who will jump up in front of a crowd, any crowd she sees, she'll jump up in front of it. So it's great to have that person. I can just say, go Liz, get in front of them and talk about it. So I think we've done some really great work in brand awareness, and we're getting some real good people coming in. People are starting to see us and know who we are. So I think that that's really kind of great. And of course, this new location helps in that. We're beginning to look at additional revenue streams. As Paul was saying, we're starting to see the trend of the cable revenue start going down. And we believe that we have to start acting like a regular nonprofit, going out and diversifying our funding sources. So we're beginning to look at that. We do have some time to do that. We're in a very good position to do that, as some of the finances that Paul talked about have shown. But we really want to get in before we get to a position where we're really...
How about a shout out for Rotary and what Rotary has done for BevCam?
Rotary?
Hint.
All right, go ahead, shout it out.
No.
So part of that is in development and going out, and Liz has taken lead on that as far as finding out some of the grants and stuff that are out there. And I am pleased to announce that Rotary just gave us $6,000 for soundproofing in this new facility here. So thank you very much to the Rotarians. Thanks, Paul. Adding the downtown location obviously is a big part of what we expect to do in the future, getting people in here, some of the workshops that we have, the podcasting studio, and adding the additional staff. I think Paul mentioned that when I came on board a little over 2 years ago, I am now the oldest serving employee of BevCam, except for some of the part-time people. I think Chris doesn't count. He did work, but he went away and came back. So I like to say that I am the longest serving BevCam employee as of this moment. So it's great to have the new guys here. They're wonderful to work with. Some of you know that I came down here from Vermont. When I go back up on the weekend to see my daughters or something like that, I'd say I need to get back to my BevCam staff because they're much more fun to hang with than my daughters. So, and obviously increasing our community partners and awareness, identifying people that we can collaborate with, embellish, support their mission as well as supporting our mission is obviously a part of what we want to do. Ball's on it. Looking ahead, gearing up BevCam Downtown is one of the things that we're really talking about. Is like, now that we have this incredible facility right here on Cabot Street, what's going to happen? And I've been talking with my staff for quite some time about let's have something happening here every evening. Let's add additional staff. Grace is coming on. She's going to be working on some evenings with us and some weekend hours. So she's augmenting the full-time staff so that we can keep the facilities open longer. People can come in. I know that when I come here at 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning every morning, that Cabot Street's very quiet. But then when I see it at 7 p.m., at 8 p.m., it's an active, vibrant place to be, and we want to be a part of that. So people can coming in. So we're setting up workshops, we're setting up clubs, we're setting up things that we can do here. If you have any ideas, let my staff know. We're absolutely trying to think about what can we do with this amazing facility.
Chris play the guitar.
Chris, will you play the guitar?
For a price, yeah.
I touched a little bit on the fundraising initiatives. We're looking at development, foundations, grants, monetizing some of the programs that we do here. How do we begin to be able to augment the loss in revenue that we're seeing from the cable revenue? Obviously, we want to meet consumers where we are. Amanda and I had a conversation with the principal at the high school, and I talked about how in the old days they would do like a news program. They'd come and do a studio set. I'm not sure that that's what they're getting now and how they're consuming their content. So how do we reach them? How do we identify where they are? How do we meet them where they're consuming? As the younger folks are coming up, how do we engage them? The typical talk show, maybe not that's not the place to do it. Let's do maybe short form content. Let's do 2 or 3 minutes that's pumped out on social media. So that's obviously something that we're always talking about. And in general, improving the BevCam content. We want to make sure that the games look good, the announcers are heard. Let's add some graphics, let's add some pizzazz. What can we do to improve always on the content? So that's constant conversation with staff. What can we do? Opportunities, challenges. Some opportunities are, as we know that there's a decrease in local news, is there a place that we can fill in with that? And we provide information to the people. How do we do that for little money? I know many access centers who have tried to do news programs, and it's a large resource draw. So can we do that? I know some people that have devoted half their staff to the news programs, and I know people who have worked in news programs. It's a lot of work to get that 30 minutes up every night, and they're on deadlines and stuff like that. But is there a place that we can fill to help augment and become relevant and important to our communities as an information source and as a news source? Tapping into the vibrant video industry that's already here in the North Shore. As I mentioned, I'm from up in Vermont. There's not a lot happening up there in Vermont. I did a couple movies up there, but when I come here and see all the people, even some of the people who are board candidates tonight, I'm like, wow, there is a really vibrant video industry that's taking place in the North Shore. Even watching some of my favorite movies and finding out that they're shot around here. It's like, wow, that's a location. I know where that is. So that's, I think, is just really a very vibrant place we could tap into the knowledge and perspective and the people that are involved in the industry around here. So, shifting to meat content, I already touched on this. People and younger folks, where are they getting their information? Where do they get their content from? I am now addicted to TikTok, so I'm one of those people that sits there, and my TV in my living room I don't watch anymore. I'm actually on my iPad, I'm on my devices and streaming my content, and my ability to watch a commercial is just gone. I cannot, I flip as soon as something comes on for an ad, and that's distressing now that I'm seeing it more on HBO paid services, like getting commercials now. And I'm like, wait a minute, HBO is not supposed to have commercials. It does, even on my PBS stream. I'm like, wow. So looking and identifying those consumption trends and meeting people where they are so that we can be a part and vibrant and relevant into the future. And of course, funding, and more funding. Where do we find the funding sources? How do we augment our funding? That's a challenge. I tell people that I have been the executive director of a nonprofit. I'm on my 4th decade now, and I have been very lucky in that I don't have to go out and raise my operating every year I get a big check from the cable company that I have to figure out how to spend. That's very unique for a nonprofit director. Typically, they're out there trying to find ways to make sure that they have money to pay their staff, and I'm trying to learn those skills, going out and fundraising. So that's not something that I typically had to do, but together with my staff and with the board of directors and with the community, we're working and finding ways be able to augment that money. So funding. I think that may be my last slide. That's it. So thank you, everybody. And I'll turn it back to you, Paul. Oh, we're doing staff?
Yeah.
You want me to do that?
Do what?
I'm supposed to introduce the staff.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm still on. We now have
I should be.
on the agenda short presentations from my, as I have said, wonderful staff. And I believe first up we have Liz DiFiore. She's a bit shy, so encourage her. Come on. She's a bit shy.
Oh, look, a crowd to jump in front of. Hi, I'm Liz. If we haven't met yet, I don't think that's the case. I think I've met everybody. I'm your community engagement manager. It's been an absolute honor. I've been here for a year and a half, and it's been just an adventure every day. This space is incredible, and to kind of like touch on some of the funding stuff that was talked about earlier, we had our first ever fundraiser this year in the entire history of the company, and we also raised some of our first ever corporate sponsorships and achieved some of our first ever grants. So a lot of that was in due part to all of you guys being incredibly supportive and coming out of the woodwork and not only spreading the message and telling everybody about why we're so great, but sometimes just seeing our signs and deciding to join and supporting us that way. Or, you know, some of you gave a lot to the campaign, which was incredibly influential. So real quick, I'd love everyone to give yourselves a round of applause, if you would please. Thank you so much. Social media over the past year has been bumping. We're up to 1,400 followers on Instagram and Facebook, and around 14,000 subscribers across our 4 YouTube channels, which has been awesome. We've had an incredible amount of enthusiasm at all of the festivals throughout Beverly. Big thank you to our staff and our board members who have been helping out at those events. And all of that has been for the purpose of making sure that people know what it is that BevCam does for the community in all the different ways, right? Because this is a huge, the organization is small, but we do a lot of different things, and most people only know what we do via like, oh, I watch the sports, so that's what you guys do. So to really be able to show everyone that we do all these different things, the social media and being out there at the festivals and everything has gone a really long way. We've been getting kids coming up to our booth at like Harborfest and saying, I was on BevCam Kids and my friend was on it and I want to get my other friend on it, or parents coming up and saying that they saw their kid on there. So it's just been really, really great to see that kind of engagement. So I won't take up too much more of your time, but I do want to give a quick shout out to especially the corporate sponsors that we had this year who really helped us raise a few $1,000s for our private editing suites and the new windows that were our sound treatment and the microphones and everything. So please hold your applause to the end because it's a little bit of a list. But first, I really want to give a big shout out to Greater Beverly Rotary Club, and then the Creative Collective, Beverly 400, So All, Pete and Joan Johnson, Early Harvest Diner, the Castle Board Game Cafe, Judy Chapman, Al Temkin Financial Group, and Salem 5 Bank. Thank you.
Liz, how did my mom get in there?
She didn't want one.
But she did it saying that she did not, I'm not supposed, she's,
At the corporate sponsorship level.
I know, but she made me promise that you don't get to throw a water balloon at me with her name on it.
Oh.
Anyway, the other thing that Liz has done, shout out to Liz for the food. She was the one who, with Delphine that picked what was out there. So thanks so much for the work on the food, Liz.
Please come out for seconds and thirds.
Next up is our content manager, who I affectionately refer to as our shortest staff member, Michelle.
Who's that?
Hello, everybody. My name is Michelle.
I'm the content manager here at BevCam. I've been here for about a year and a half, and the last year has been great. I've learned a lot. Just a quick backstory, I came from another public access channel, so I was there for 5 years, and I was able to bring some of my skills that I've learned there to here. I won't take up too much of your time, but I just wanted to say, since my last update with all of you from last year's annual meeting, we were just getting started on our HD channel, channel 1073. I'm happy to announce that it is fully running. It's been running for just under a year, October last year. So we've been putting on sports and government meetings, school committee meetings. Those are our top shows that I like to put on there because I want people to see the important stuff for Beverly so they can learn the news in HD. Because if you're watching something in standard definition, I feel like people aren't going to realize what we have to offer here. They think that we're still working in standard def when all of our cameras are high definition. So I think that's a great resource that we have to show the community we're working with high-tech equipment here. So come on in and make a show. So I just wanted to quickly share all of our numbers from the past year with new programming. Since I'm the content manager, I made up a list of all the shows from January 2023 to December 2023. And quickly, our education channel, channel 22, we covered and aired 85 new Beverly High School sporting events and 13 other events, including concerts and graduations. Those are all up on our YouTube channel, and we're also streaming them on channel 22. Channel 8, our public channel, it's seen the most new programming with a total of 158 new episodes across all of our producers who are still active, and returning producers and new producers. So we've gotten a lot of new shows within the past year, and I'm very excited about that. And channel 6, the government channel, we've had 30 new council meetings and 19 new school committee meetings, as well as 6 special meetings, which would include board meetings and the various public hearing meetings, stuff like that. And so for the next year, I really hope to see new programming, and I know that we will because we've gotten a ton more producers, and I'm happy to see what everybody has in store for next year. So, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. It's amazing to me that we have so much going on. We completely forgot about the HD channel that we started this year. I'm like, oh yeah, we did that this year too. Wow. Next up, I believe, is our production manager, who is behind the camera, who will now step out in front of the camera and give us a little bit about what Chris does for us as production manager.
Hey, Chris.
Hi.
Vacations are great.
When you take them. I just got back from vacation, so Bob's making a joke, but I was dipping in and out as needed, which was nice. It was a staycation. Yeah, it was fine. I entertained my brother-in-law, which was cool. I showed him here, actually. You probably saw on the camera this guy walking in. You're probably like, who the heck was that? It was us.
I know. I saw.
Yeah, I saw. So anyway, so as I was introduced, I'm the production manager. We have a lot of things going on in the past year. A lot of sports, as Paul mentioned. It's a big draw for us. Everybody loves our sports. Robert did an outstanding job building that up over his tenure here. He was here, 15 years, something like that, and he lived it, and he did a great job. So coming into that was difficult, but I think we really stepped it up, and excited to see what we can do more of. We've built a great team of part-timers. A couple of them are here tonight. They came straight from a soccer game. So thank you guys for all your hard work. That's Tim and John right there. Outside of that, we've been doing a lot of concerts. As Michelle said, a lot of meetings. We've been ramping up the studio production. We've started to get some new producers in. I'm seeing some familiar faces here. Sean just started a podcast a couple weeks ago. So we're excited to continue to grow that, both at the Beverly High School space and especially here. I'm very excited to see all of this stuff finally here. We're gonna have some new curtains coming in for that grant. Thank you, Rotary. As you can hear, this room needs a little work on the treatment. It's a little echoey, but we're gonna take care of that as well. So really excited to see what we can do with this space, with podcasting, other community events, maybe some art shows, maybe some live performance. We can't beat this spot for downtown trick or treat, block party, arts fest, all of that stuff. We have it all here now, so everything's going to be a lot easier to cover. I mean, the parade, we don't have to,
Bring it all down here.
Yeah, I know, it was crazy. Set up like a pile of stuff in City Hall foyer and just like make it all happen. So I'm very excited about this space. In addition to that, we're excited to see what they are doing over at the high school at the field with the lights and stands. It looks like end of October, we might be doing some football, some Friday night lights. So working on the infrastructure over there to get some connections out at the field. Currently, we do everything wirelessly, like straight back to the studio, which is, it's impressive that it works so well. But having some hardline connections will be really, really exciting.
How do you like the new office?
Oh, it's spacious. It's spacious, and I graciously.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. I'm just filling it up with equipment and boxes. So, I think that's all I have for this evening. But want to thank you guys all for your constant support of BevCam and everything you guys do to get us out there in the community. So,
Keep up the good work.
thanks, Bob.
Last but not least, Amanda. Amanda is our newest hire. She came on board at the beginning of the year. She is a recent transplant to Beverly. Bought a house and actually has twin girls. So we had to wait a little bit before we could get her on board. But as of the beginning of this year, we were so excited to have her join the team. And do we have some tech that we have to run?
I have a video montage.
I'll let
I
you.
just thought, yeah, it's on the.
Yeah, I'll cue it up
Okay.
if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share a little bit about some of the vibrant youth activities we've been having, interns, new programming. So I put a video together to share. But I'm the education and media manager here. So I've been sort of adding new workshops, taking in interns, doing some workshops with kids and adults. We have workshops coming up. It's going to show on the video, but we have a couple of people here that are doing workshops coming up. We have 3 seminars in October. 321 Create, which is really like how to represent your brand through video content. We have, you got it going. We've got the art of movie making, which is for kids, and it's all behind the scenes art, mural making, model making, creating stop motion puppets. And then what else do we have in October? And then we have a photography workshop as well for adults and businesses. So all of the flyers are on the window. So as you're walking by, grab those QR codes and sign up. All right, so I don't know why I made a video montage. I feel like it just gives you like the feels. It gives you the vibes for like what we're going for here.
Go.
Will it open?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So yeah, started some new programming since I started here, so I led with that.
4 seconds ahead.
Come on.
Backing up.
I would not have believed that at 77 I could be this alive.
Because I feel like that's like the hardest part about being a good student.
We're starting a podcast really soon called On Air, where we talk about movies. We are doing our part at the Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to New England Lighthouses.
Yacht Club.
Jubilee Yacht Club. Who's that?
That was a video I did for the fundraising campaign. Liz humors me and lets me make little silly videos for social media.
Oh my gosh, what's this? BevCam Downtown? Opening at the end of May? That's what I heard. We gotta come back here.
animation and character design workshops over the summer. It was really fun, and those are the little like animations that they worked on for one of the classes.
So,
Working on Cabot Street.
I love the community Cabot Street brings to the town.
Potatoes. This is one of our landmark school interns. So we have college interns and high school interns that come in and out. And these are the workshops I mentioned, so please sign up. They're free for members, the adult workshops. So that's incentive for you right there. That's it. That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, now we go again.
Now we're back to Paul.
Do you have the results?
I do. I want to congratulate John, which you did. We've been just a lot of work. And we had a tie.
Really? Oh, boy.
Put them both on.
So we need to give you all ballots again, and do not vote for John, because he's already in.
Put them both on.
We're gonna go, you can vote from the 4 remaining candidates again. Since we made the executive decision.
That's fine. I like when you make decisions.
But just vote for one.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, and now Tony.
Vote for the one of the two who tied, or vote for any of the other 4?
Any of the other 4, vote for one. Okay?
Any of them, not John.
Just not John.
You cross them out on the ballot?
We didn't cross them out, because
Well-
you know what? We didn't have time. Is that okay, boss?
That
So
is.
do not vote for John.
Yeah.
Any questions? Nice job.
So,
So we'll pass out the ballots, and
Okay.
and I'll be back around to come up.
all right.
I have 3 pens when I had probably 20
Where
earlier.
After they say BevCam, I hope it looks.
No, we don't have that campaign. Yes. Do you have pens? No, we don't.
Everybody have ballots?
Anybody need a ballot?
Oh, yeah, I do. I lost my pen. Where's my pen?
Anybody else on collecting?
Doing good, Joe. Proper hello. Bringing it to the real thing. You doing well?
Yeah, very well. I'm enjoying your good acting.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even see your name, I always call you. I get there, I get my cup of coffee, and I get.
It's funny, but in a bizarre way. I almost think that it's like a Monty Python. Like, you can't be serious. It's funny, but it's so absurd.
Help yourselves to more food. We should have the ballots counted within 5 minutes. Anybody here want to say anything about the lovely thing, or why did we hire Rob, or I don't know. pick the topic.
Leave the question up here, or
yeah.
say.
Go for it.
Hey there.
Hi.
I I just moved to Beverly. I'm really excited to be joining the community here. Rob, I just had a question for you, which is that I think that a lot of the work that we can be doing on behalf of the organization is to be spreading brand awareness. Yeah. Over the next year, what is the one initiative that gets you really excited that might reflect the direction of the organization?
I think the training is the big thing. You know, actually having a chance to be able to teach people how to be content creators, giving the tools, letting them know that we're here. That really does excite me the most. It's just, yeah, we have this space, we can do trainings here every evening. So tapping into the industry that's already here, having them train people, that's really just where I'm very excited to have them there.
Can I add to that?
Yeah. Yes.
Ever since we opened this spot, we've had so many people from around the community, the greater North Shore, come to us and start conversations about expanding digital equity within the area. So even though we don't have anything we can announce right now, just like the amount of people who've been wanting to expand everyone's access to technology and want to partner with us to do it, it's been like overwhelming. It's been amazing.
That's huge.
Great.
Good.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yep. Other questions, comments? Well, there's still plenty of food. Thank you, Delphines.
Yeah, we're not
Thank
kicking
you,
out.
Liz.
Please stay and enjoy the food and talk. I know some of my staff wants to get home to their family.
Yeah.
I'll be here, so keep the lights open to the last one of you leaves.
You got no place to go.
Yeah.
Make sure you turn the light out because
Last
we
call
don't
is
wanna
2
waste
a.m.
any. All right, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right.